Have we just seen one of the strongest Super Chat episodes so far? Because episode 5 gave us powerful stories, real advocacy, and some contestants who may have completely changed the competition. And after watching all 7 contestants, I think there is one clear standout when it comes to communication, purpose, and overall impact. Let's talk about it. Welcome back, everyone. Today we're reviewing Miss Supranational 2026 Super Chat Episode 5 featuring Bolivia, Bonaire, Cambodia, Dominican Republic, Namibia, Norway, and the Philippines. And I have to say, this was a very strong group. Not necessarily the loudest group, but definitely one of the most substance-driven groups we've seen. This episode felt different. It wasn't just beauty, it was about purpose. And that's what makes Miss Supranational interesting. So let's break it down. Starting with Bolivia. Bolivia gave us one of the most heartfelt stories tonight. She revealed that she started working at just 15 years old, and now she's using that experience to help children access scholarships and better education. That instantly made her relatable. What stood out for me was her sincerity. You could tell her advocacy comes from real lived experience. And fun fact, she's also an English teacher for children. That gives her a strong, nurturing quality. Her delivery wasn't the strongest, but her heart was definitely there. Next up, Bonaire gave us one of the most unique moments of the episode. She introduced us to Papiamento, which is a mix of multiple languages including Spanish, Portuguese, Dutch, English, and French. That was such a cool cultural moment. It made her memorable. She also works as an immigration officer, which means public service and community safety are already part of her daily life. That gives her credibility. I liked her calmness. She wasn't trying too hard. And sometimes, that works. Now Cambodia came in strong. Probably one of the strongest introductions of the night. She immediately established herself as resilient, determined, and deeply passionate. What stood out most was her journey in pageantry since 2020, and how she openly talked about failure and growth. That kind of honesty connects. Her energy was powerful, and I think she's someone to watch. Then, we have Dominican Republic. This was one of the most emotional stories of the night. She spoke about her mother being a cancer survivor, which inspired her advocacy, and now she works directly with cancer patients and supports cancer awareness. That's powerful. What makes her stand out even more is that she's also a medical student. That creates strong alignment between her personal story and her purpose. It felt genuine, and genuine always wins. Now let's talk about Namibia. For me, Namibia gave the strongest answer of the entire episode. And I say that because she didn't just talk about a problem, she explained the solution. Her Living Waters project focuses on water scarcity, water harvesting, and improving access to usable water for children in early childhood development. That is specific. That is impactful. And that is exactly what strong advocacy looks like. Her communication was structured, calm, and very mature. This felt like a winner's answer. And if you watched carefully, you could tell she knew exactly what she wanted to say. That confidence stood out. Now, Norway surprised me. She's only 19 years old, but her maturity was impressive. Her multicultural background, being half Ghanaian and half Norwegian, gave depth to her perspective. And I liked how she explained how both cultures shaped her identity. But what made her even stronger was her volunteer work with the Salvation Army, helping feed people, talking to vulnerable individuals, and inspiring them. That's meaningful work. She felt authentic, and authenticity is powerful. And finally, the Philippines. As expected, very polished, very experienced, very media trained. She's a model, a host, a business owner, and a military reservist. That's a strong resume. But what I liked most was how she connected her business to women's empowerment. Through Project Pearls, she helps women create sustainable livelihoods through candle making. That's smart advocacy. It's practical. It creates impact. And her speaking was very polished. Probably one of the cleanest speakers of the night. So now the big question, who was the best speaker? For me, my top 3 are number 1, Namibia. She had the strongest structure, strongest advocacy explanation, and the most complete answer. Number 2, Philippines. Very polished, very strategic, and highly experienced. Number 3, Norway. Authentic, mature, and emotionally intelligent. And my honorable mention goes to Dominican Republic for the strongest emotional connection. Now, a few fun facts you may have missed. Bonaire introduced one of the most unique languages we've heard this season. Philippines comes from a military family background. Namibia's foundation has actually been registered since 2018, which means her advocacy existed long before this pageant. Dominican Republic's cancer advocacy is deeply personal, and Norway may be the youngest, but definitely not the least prepared. Overall, this was a strong episode, but if I had to pick one winner of Super Chat Episode 5, it's Namibia. The strongest speaker, the strongest project explanation, the strongest presence. But Philippines and Norway are very close behind. And now, I want to know your thoughts. Who won Super Chat Episode 5 for you? Do you agree with Namibia as the standout? Or do you think someone else stole the show? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next review.